Hi, my name is Troy, and I'll be taking you through the installation instructions for the SpringBoard wall system. Okay. To start, I'd like to go through some of the functional hardware components for mounting the SpringBoard unit. First of all, you should find 12 of these furniture screws that have a 4mm hex head and a 1/4 thread. These will be used for mounting the wall track. Now the wall track direction facing up has the holes at the top, and on the back has some peel and stick tape, which we'll show you how to use that later. Also provided is a 4mm hex head bit and 12 zip anchors with a 1/4 thread for the furniture screws. Now I'm going to walk you through the 5 functional components of the system, starting with the main marker board panel, which has your top track already pre-installed on it, your magnetic marker board surface, your side trims, and your bottom track. This is what your door panels will ride on. Next is your external panel, which has the external hardware, which has a gap so that the internal hardware can slide within it. Then you have your internal panel with your internal hardware pre-installed. Finally, you have your finished trim pieces. Your bottom trim piece, you'll notice, has a groove which will lock on to your panel, which we'll demonstrate later on in the video. And then your top panel, which will lock onto the top. And these finished trims will be one of the last pieces that go on the unit. Now I want to just go through a couple of tools that you might need that aren't included in your package. First of all, a level, which will help to hang your track system. A stud finder, which will also be used to hang your mounting track. A tape measure. A drill with a 1/2-inch spade bit. This will be used for the zip anchors. A pencil for marking. And a drill, which you'll use to put on your finished fasteners. Also, you're going to need another person to help. The unit is quite heavy, so you'll need to have someone help you hang the unit. And depending on the height that you're hanging it at, you might need a step ladder. So once you've leveled your line for the track installation, the next thing to do would be to find your studs. So we'll start by just putting your stud finder on the wall and then moving it Now typically your studs are 16 to 24 inches on center, so we're going to measure 16 inches, mark, and then we're just going to use our stud finder one more time to check and find that stud. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to mount the track system. The track system finishes at 6 inches less than your finished height. So for this particular track, we're going to install the unit at 7 foot high. So we're going to put a mark on our wall at 7 foot. And then again 6 inches down at 6 foot 6. I'm going to make a little bit bigger mark at the 6 foot 6 so that we can level that out. So I'm going to put my level up on the wall at my 6 foot 6 mark. Draw a line, thanks Paul. And at this line is where the top of your track is going to hang. On the track unit, you'll see on one of the ends there's an arrow pointing up to your pre-drilled holes. This is going to be the top side of your mounting track. On the back side, we've installed some double-sided tape. On that tape we've scored the ends so that you can remove just a small section of the tape, and we'll use this for marking out all of the holes that, for our anchors. There's also predetermined or pre-drilled holes that are laid out every 8 inches on center, which should hit your 16-inch studs on center or your 24-inch stud centers. For this particular installation, we are using hollow wall anchors, which can be used to go straight into drywall as well. So now we're going to take our track. We're going to find the position where we marked out our stud and our level line. Now you're going to want to have a pencil handy and someone to help you hold that track. And we're going to mark the holes. And this is going to determine the fastening into our studs and our hollow wall anchors, which we'll show you in the next segment. Now that we've laid out our hole locations, I'm going to take my 1/2-inch spade bit and drill for our anchors. We'll put our bit in center, 1/2-inch hole. And that's it. Okay, so now that we have all of our 1/2-inch holes drilled, the next step is to insert our anchors. So what we do is we flatten the anchor out, push it into the wall, pull it back, and zip it till it's nice and tight, and then break it off. And that should fit your 1/4-20 bolt. So we can repeat that process throughout the rest of our holes, and then we'll be ready to hang our mounting track. Now that we have all of our anchors in the wall, we're ready to hang our mounting track. So we find the location of our holes, and we take our 1/4-20 furniture screws and we just kind of hand tighten into all of the holes. So once you've installed the screws in all of the holes and hand tighten them, then you can take your drill with the 4mm hex head and you can just finish tightening. And up to the wall. And as you draw it in, that's going to help the toggle on the back of that anchor suck tight to the drywall or your steel studs. Now that the mounting track is fastened using all of the fasteners, we're ready to mount the main unit. Now that we're ready to hang the main panel unit, on the back side of the panel you'll see an aluminum track that has a reveal in it. This is what's going to lock into the channel that we just mounted. Now we're ready to hang the unit. The unit is 10 foot long and we provided an 8 foot long track. So at this point in time is when you're going to want to get some help and you're ready to hang the unit. Ready? You want to keep the unit tight against the top and go over the track and then slide down slowly. You want? Yep. Now that we've hung the main unit, it's time to install the panels. So we're going to start with the external door, which is the glass door, and you'll notice on the edge it has the hardware again that allows the other door to slide underneath. So this roller is going to lock onto the back side of the top of the track. So you tip your door out, you should feel it fall into place, and then just step up and make sure that you're sitting on that back track. And you're on there, Paul. So you'll notice the unit can slide back and forth on the track. So once you have your rollers locked in at the top, you'll notice there's a cam here that is touching the aluminum track. Now to lock that cam in to its permanent location, what you want to do is you want to push straight in, and that cam will flip up and lock itself in. Now the unit is secure and can't come off. Okay. Good job, yes, you just want to make sure that your clearance, that both doors slide independently before moving on to the next step. And that's the installation of the doors. Okay, for the final step of the process, we're going to install the finished trims. To identify the top and the bottom trim you'll notice has a 9/16 groove in the back, and that's to lock to the bottom side of the panel. Now that we've hung the unit and installed the doors, we're going to finish by securing the unit to the wall with our zip anchors. We've also provided a 2-inch finish screw that has the 4 millimeter hex head. So we'll start by drilling our 1/2-inch hole through the drywall. Insert our zip anchor, pull back, make sure the unit's pressed nice and tight against the wall. Secure the anchor and snap off the access. Then we'll take our hex bolt, for the final step, we'll be installing the finished trims. So we'll lift that up onto the top. All of these holes have been pre-drilled. So we use a Phillips bit and a Phillips screw to just finish this top trim off. There'll be 2 holes on each end, and then holes continuously all the way across the back. And that step will be the same for the top trim and the bottom trim. My name is Troy Bosworth. Thanks for watching the instructional video for the SpringBoard.